Okay, yo. People in the chat. What is up? There's that. Our beautiful faces. Let me just get one last thing here. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Actually, real quick, can I get a mic check from you?
Testing 1 2, testing. Can you hear me all right?
Yep. All right. Hello and what is up? Welcome to episode 330 of the Center Ring Esports podcast presented by Alt. And this is going to be the best episode ever because we have Blizzard rocking the Overwatch world with some Overwatch 2 changes. So we will discuss that and how it will affect the scene in esports and more. Also, everyone's favorite segment, Yikes of the Week. And of course, e-news to end the show. But before we get to any of that, let me tell you about the show sponsor in Alt Esports. That's ULT Esports. Go to altesports.com. You can pick up some of the best apparel esports has to offer, including they are official partners with the #1 Valorant team in the world, Sentinels. You might have heard of them. #1 in the world, #1 NA, about to bring home the trophy for yours truly, the red, white, and blue, and Canada. Let's include them. You can do that. They are official partners. They have their official line for the Sentinels at altesports.com. Very clean, very fresh, sick. It's a sick drop, as the kids would say. So check them out, altesports.com, and you let them know the Center Ring sent you.
This is Super. You're listening to the Center Ring.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast, presented by Alt. Episode 330 coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date is May 23rd, 2021, and the time is 9:05 p.m. Central Time. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. In the description there, you will find a link to Discord and Patreon. So if you want to go ahead and support the show, those are the two best ways to do so. And share with friends. Follow on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff that everyone else tells you to do. Just do it for us as well. And that will be the best way to support the show. My name is Tim. I'll be your captain for this journey into esports, and alongside me, as always, is my best friend, my brown friend. It's Anuj. What's up?
You know, I forgot we didn't even watch the grand final for the Rainbow Six Invitational. Was that today? Did you watch it?
Was that today?
I think that was today. It was a thrilling grand final, as it's being described.
Were we gonna talk about it?
You know, it's a championship Sunday potential here.
Your boys won it, apparently.
That's exactly why I was looking at it.
All right, breaking news: NIP beat Liquid in the Rainbow Six Invitational Finals.
Hey, $1 million grand prize.
It's big. Look, and it has good numbers. I am not knocking Rainbow Sixies. Anuj, I don't know if you know this. I was a former professional, semi-pro. Keyword there, pro. I was a former professional in Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. So my roots go way back in Rainbow Six. So by no means am I knocking the esports scene for Rainbow. But I also forgot that the finals were today.
Yeah, I did too. I actually might be a little interested to tune back in and just go back and watch. At least, you know, at a pro level, watching Rainbow Six is incredibly badass. The problem is for me playing the damn game. Like, it's a whole different world, right? but watching them play is fascinating because they really know every single angle. You'd think remembering to throw smokes is hard. Imagine remembering every spot you can puncture a hole in
I
the
was about
damn
to
wall.
say,
Like
every
that's a whole nother level.
every tiny bullet hole that they can shoot in, and like it's like a pinhole, and yet these pros can see everything through it. So
I always wonder, like, I would love to stand behind a pro to look at their monitor to see if they just see something different. Because half the time in Rainbow Six, I don't see the person until the kill feed is updated that somebody just died. Like, I don't get it. I don't know how they see pixels the way that they do. It's incredible.
yeah, I to be honest with you, I used to play Rainbow Six Siege quite often, but then I stopped, and it's gotten away from me now. Like I don't know half the agents in it. I don't know half the maps in the game anymore. And so now really the only time I find myself playing Rainbow Six Siege is on the free weekends, because I know that's the only time I stand a chance of being able to compete with other people who
Yeah.
don't play. Cuz it is one of those games where it's almost too late to pick up. Like almost like I would say like Overwatch. Like if you're getting into a game right now, don't do Overwatch or Rainbow, because it's too late. Like people have already mastered it, and you will just have a miserable time trying to figure it out.
Do you think Overwatch 2 could reinvigorate that for Overwatch?
Well, we'll get to this in a moment, but yes, because it's a completely different game now. Like everyone's going to have to relearn Overwatch. But with Rainbow, like you said, you got people in there where it's just you think
Impossible.
you think you're safe, and then all of a sudden you got some dude just blasting through a wall that you had no idea was breakable. And
No, 100%. Just even like using the agents, plus the fact of you're looking through micro holes everywhere on the map, plus using your camera ability, and like, I mean, there's just so much there you have to learn. And when you're behind the curve on games like that, it's hard.
one thing I will always appreciate, and that's kind of the reason I don't like Siege as much, is because again, as a former Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 professional, I just don't like class-based games as much. Not that I don't like them, I just don't like them as much. Like with agents and hero picks and the meta, and then it's just one more thing I have to worry. Let me just worry about headshots, okay? I can shoot, I can learn the map. I can't follow and pay for every new agent that, I mean, I would be bankrupt.
No, it's a lot. And then like, even when it's based on playtime, like, oh, I feel like Valorant system's actually pretty good for that. When you're trying to unlock a character, it doesn't feel
Yeah, it's not too
too
bad.
taxing to like try and get it. It's long still. It's not short, but you can get them because you have 3 months essentially every time to do it. With Rainbow, if you fall in behind here, I mean, you're never gonna get all of them. How are you gonna get them all?
Just pick them up on sale. That's
That's
pretty
the
much
only way. It's the only way.
pretty
Drop
much the
money.
only way you're doing it. But no, so anyways, just congratulations. The finals were today, so congratulations to NIP. Apparently they did not have server issues. No replay on this one. No
That'd be Liquid asking for it.
no replay on this one. No packet loss. Yeah, Rainbow is one of those weird games where it's like I am good to go back to it once a year. I will go back and play Siege, like I said, typically on like a free weekend. But it's for whatever reason I always find myself playing it at least once a year. And then I just fall out of it for whatever reason. But I've always appreciated Rainbow though, because a headshot's a headshot.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
Like
dead.
like the shooting, it doesn't matter if it's like with a rinky dink pistol or a giant machine gun, right? A headshot's a headshot, and I do appreciate it. Like I do appreciate the gun mechanics in the game. But no, to answer your long-winded, that's a long-winded way of saying no. I did not watch the finals. I did not watch the finals. So sorry. I know we're supposed to be Mr. Esports here, but the Rainbow Six International Finals slipped away from us this time around. Maybe
This
next
time.
year. There's always next year.
Always next year.
We'll watch it next year. But I'll tell you what I did pay attention to, and that's the news of the week, because without it, we would never get Yikes of the week, Anuj. And we do have some Yikes to get to. I'll start with mine because it's kind of short, to be honest with you. But I did chuckle at it because every once in a while in esports and gaming, we get a little sign from RNGesus just to let you know, hey, maybe the odds are against you. And sure enough, this is why NA can't have nice things. Because days before the most important tournament in Valorant history, Anuj, TenZ, arguably the most important player for NA, maybe even the best in the tournament, decides to go ahead and burn the shit out of his thumb because he went to go grab or whatever. Long story short, dumped boiling water on his hand, and now his left thumb looks like a cartoon character after he hits it with a board, and now he's got it all taped up. This is just a sign.
I'm not laughing at him. It's just I'm laughing at how random. I mean, look, it couldn't get more random than this.
Maybe it's a European kettle. Maybe if this was an American product, maybe it wouldn't have happened. I blame shoddy EU tea kettle workmanship.
Like IKEA stuff probably over there. Probably partnered with them.
Right. Iceland is same thing as Sweden, right?
Like close enough, right? Like all right around.
It's all the same over there.
Island over here. It's halfway there. It's in between, right? No, this sucks for him. Obviously, I hope he's okay. First and foremost, hopefully he's fine. Good thing is it's on his left hand, so we can pray that it doesn't affect him in that way. But yeah, of course, this would happen like right before the most important tournament of your life. So stay hard, TenZ. Hopefully it's all okay for you. Also, just a yikes for the situation. I mean,
we were discussing in pre-show too. We don't he probably doesn't use spacebar to jump anyways. So just maybe that's his push to talk. Just use open mic and doesn't even matter.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Oh Lord, I have a really good one today. I'm actually this one is like a. We'll see who you think it's a yikes on, Tim. I think I know. COD Mobile, bringing the mobile world into Yikes of the Week. From Tragic Esports, team playing in a $20,000 COD Mobile tournament over the weekend. They were disqualified, Tim. And for what you ask? BMing, essentially. They were in a 3v1 situation. The guy pulls off the clutch, kills these three guys. They take the win for S&D. And shortly after the stream cuts off, they get a notification essentially saying, hey, this was bad, unsportsmanlike conduct. You guys are disqualified from the event. Didn't give them an opportunity to have a warning, which they had done for other teams that were BMing. If you haven't seen the clip, typical Tim move, kills him 3-on-1, just right over his face and starts popping. Now, to his defense, it looked like his bullets missed the body. Okay? They were in the general vicinity.
Well, it's fair game. It's all good.
But disqualified. How do you feel about this?
I mean, the answer for me is pretty obvious here. You absolutely have to disqualify them because that type of attitude just has no place in gaming, first of all. No, I think the whole thing,
especially in Call of Duty.
Right, especially in Call of Duty, a community and a group of people who just hold up the most respect for each other.
The Vatican of gaming.
Yeah. When the Pope has to consult someone on how to treat people in gaming, he turns to the Call of Duty scene. No, this is absolutely a yikes. It's absolutely first off, it's a DQ. That's harsh.
That's like, real harsh.
Like a DQ, like you're on the same pedestal as someone who like cheats, right? Like that's pretty harsh.
No like warning too. They gave warning to other teams. They didn't give them a warning.
Especially in the world of Call of Duty where BMing is half the battle, right? Like that's half. And as someone who has been suspended for shooting dead bodies, or at least been warned, I was never suspended for shooting dead bodies. I was suspended for talking shit. But I was warned in our Beer League Overwatch League. I forget the name of it. The No Fun League. I was warned because I teabagged and shot someone after I killed them.
But I've also never seen somebody warned so many times in a league like you were.
I
in
mean,
that
it was
league.
like every day I was coming on this show.
Every single week you had a new like citation at your doorstep, letting you know you've committed some offense to the league.
And it's like half the time it's like I didn't even know it either. Like it was just they would randomly DM me on Discord being like, "Hey, after further review, we've seen that you broke and violated rule 42B." I'm like, "Bro, like what? What how is this even against the rule?"
That was also the last time you gamed with about 70% of those friends.
Yeah, do you think that's a coincidence? High school lifelong friends, and all of a sudden they stopped talking to me because apparently the thing that I said that tipped the league over the edge that I had to make a public apology for is I said we need to ram it down their throats. And apparently they took that as like forcefully like shoving a body part down their throats. And I was like, whoa, no one ever said anything about that. Like,
It's just like it's just a term.
that's like it's just, hey, just take it and shove it down their throat.
Like, take it to them, you know, like
Let's give it to them hard. Like I'm not. No one's talking about forcefully putting anything anywhere without permission. An
it's not
enthusiastic
like you said
yes.
like bend them over and ram it in them deep. You know, like that would
Yeah.
have been like, okay, you probably crossed some boundaries here, but
No.
this was acceptable in my opinion.
And
I'll let you know if you're being toxic. You know,
of course,
I'll let you know. I don't think that that's bad.
Typically, you don't have to let me know. Typically, I know. I know when I cross the line. I won't apologize for it because that's just not how I roll. But but trust me, I know. I'm not proud of it, and I'm fully aware when I do it. But God be damned that I acknowledge it and make myself a better person for it, because that ain't happening anytime soon. So
we have to set a good example for our children, Tim.
That's right. That's why I'm never playing games with him, because it's just easier to not do it. So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for being disqualified for something like that. And again, that's all part of gaming. That's like when football was punishing people for doing celebrations after a touchdown. Like, come on, especially after a clutch. Like, let them celebrate.
Let them do a little dance. Whatever you want to do something fun with the ball. Use it as a prop. Like, I'm fine with all that stuff.
Yep.
Baseball, flip the bat if you hit a home run. Doesn't bother me.
No, yeah, if it's all within the game and it's all in good fun and taunting like that, let them play. Let them play. I have a little impromptu yikes here for you.
Okay.
So, on Twitter, I saw a tweet from one Brett Diamond, the COO of Minnesota Rocker in version 1, talking about how when he was in a Zoom chat, he realized they were all using up their made-up names. And that reminded me of a moment, because I said, one time at DreamHack, I was playing Pokken, the Pokemon fighting game, with our buddy, and this chick walked up and said, "Hey, can I play the winner?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And I was like, "Oh, my name's Tim." And she goes, "Oh, you can call me Dark Shadow." And I was like, "I absolutely cannot, and we're going now. Thank you."
We're done. This is it.
But it is good to know that even on a COO Zoom chat, like even in like upper tier management in esports, it is perfectly acceptable to be like, no. You call me 420 Blaze It XX. It's okay. It's okay there. Like, it just got me thinking, like, only in esports can you tell, like, no, go ahead. Call me Pirate Mushroom. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't worry about it.
I like calling people by their gamer tags if that's what they want to be called by,
I'm not
probably not randomly at an event, that's probably a little different, but in your social circle, if you're
it all depends like how you meet them, right?
And WoW, if you call me Spiffy, for example, I'm on my Demon Hunter and you call me Spiffy, I'm not going to be upset about that.
No, of course. Unlike our buddy Donut, point in case, his name was Donut, and I call him Donut. Like
I forget that his name is Tim at times.
Right, and that's half the reason that we call him Donut, is because there's like 5 Tims in our group of friends, so he just drew the short straw and gets called Donut. But I don't think he would even acknowledge if I called him Tim.
No.
And like sometimes people call me P Shroom. Virus was my old name, so sometimes he'll call me Virus, and it's like,
Virus is so 90s, dude.
well, and that's
Like,
why it's no longer. I used to be, my first gamer tag was Virus of Life after a Slipknot song, and it probably wasn't until college, maybe like sophomore year of college, I changed it to. There was a few in between, but I ended up with Pirate Mushroom because I was like, Virus of Life or Virus is just way too edgelord to give out to other adults. Like,
it reminds me of Con Air, like Cyrus the Virus.
yeah, it's
That's what I
just
think
there.
of.
There are certain
Yeah.
gamer tags where it's like, as a kid, sounded really cool, and then when you got older, you're like, you know what?
This
I
is not going to work.
I need something.
Stalker, for example, being an adult male, being known as Stalker is
Yeah, just
not something I want to be called.
not a good one. So it just, his tweet reminded me of the awkward moments of when you first meet someone in esports, and it's just,
I wish we could go back to calling people by their AIM name. That's what we should do.
there you go. That's easy. Sometimes, I mean, I guess it's just a hit and miss. Like, I feel like players, even if I see them in real life, I call them by their name, like their gamer tag name. But owners, I feel like I need to call them
By their proper name.
by their proper name.
Chances are you also don't know their gamer tag.
Well, like Hastro, but like I call him Mike. I don't think I call him Hastro. I call him Stro because we're best friends.
That's
But
after y'all do the handshake.
yeah, we have our little secret handshake, and I say, "What's up, Stro?" So I don't know. It's always an interesting moment that really defines how a relationship's going to go. I think if you let them call you by your gamer tag, then I feel like you really are like, we're gonna play together,
We have to like play together.
right? But if you
'Cause it
introduce
makes
yourself as a
sense.
normal name, that means I don't want to play with you. So
I'll keep that in mind. Our next event.
just a little tidbit: give them your real name if it's you want to keep it professional. You give them your fake name, and then you can game sometime.
Hey, what's up, Spiffy? It's like, who are you? It's like media.
Right. Media. Don't you worry about it. All right, so there you have it. There are some yikes of the week. Let us know if you have any yikes of the week in our Discord, and or on Twitter at the Center Ring. Now, Nuge, some other news that dropped this week, and this was honestly, like, I was not planning on talking about this because I even made fun of it in previous episodes. But on the 20th, just a handful of days ago, Blizzard did their Overwatch 2 multiplayer demo. And as I said before, I figured, like, what's the point of watching this? It's just going to be Overwatch with some updated graphics. Maybe they're on the new map. Who knows, right? How wrong I was, because Blizzard decided to drop the bomb and announce that Overwatch 2 is switching from 6-on-6 to 5v5.
Pretty big announcement.
Mind blown. On so many levels. We had people on Discord asking, S Canada asked in Discord, one of our listeners, hey, I don't play Overwatch, but how big of a deal is this really? I can't express to you how big of a deal it really is. This is not like Call of Duty, right? And even in Call of Duty, it was a huge shift, right? Going from 4v4 to 5 back to 4v4. Huge, right? We saw a shift in how the teams and meta and maps play. In Overwatch, it's a brand new game. I mean, it is truly going to be a completely different playing experience, from how the maps are played first and foremost, but just from meta and team breakdown and everything. Like, it's going to be an entirely new game.
It excites me in like so many ways for the game, actually, because for one, it makes an individual player roughly like 18% more of a chance to stand out, right, and make a play and make something happen. I think it's definitely great from a viewership perspective, because like you said with Call of Duty, what happened when you went from 4v4 to 5v5? It became significantly more chaotic, right? You constantly had the ability to trade. There was more. I mean, it was just, you were more aggressive everywhere on the map. You were able to do that. And I think in Overwatch, because of how abilities work in the game, it's going to make it a little less chaotic and open up space a little bit more. And I think, again, that also drives to individual playstyle. And what is the one thing we always talked about that we felt that Overwatch was missing? I don't know if it 100% solves the problem of the clutch factor coming into the game all of a sudden, because still the game modes don't necessarily, I think, are best suited for clutch factor. Also, the way the meta, will probably be played. But I do think it opens it up for more just aggressive one-on-one or 1v2 type plays that you just wouldn't get before. So I like the idea of 5v5. Obviously, there's a financial aspect to this that I think drives this just as much as the gameplay aspect of it. For the owners, obviously having to not pay that extra salary is huge. But I think if the focus truly is just the gameplay piece of it, yeah, I really like the change. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like it's widely loved right now, just based on general response I've seen out there. You could tell me if I'm wrong on that, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, so and I think that can get to our first point of why the change, right? Because a lot of people on Reddit and Twitter are like, why would you do this, right? Multitude of reasons. If we want to first talk about from the casual standpoint, if you've played, first off, no one can deny the fact that Overwatch player base has dropped. Is it a dead game? No, it's not a dead game. I've recently gotten back into it, and I played it this weekend. So for 3 nights in a row, I've played Overwatch, which is a pretty big deal considering I went 20 months without even touching the game. So I think I looked. The last I played was season 19, and it's now on 28 or 29. So that goes to show how little I've even touched the game. The player base is still there, but it's much smaller, and it's not nearly as fanatic as it once was. This is also, though, mainly because, unlike other games, Overwatch is not like a friendly, casual game. Like, it's not. And I don't care. You can be a casual and say, no, it's not true at all. I play it all the time. I'm talking about you are in the minority. You are the guy who still plays Overwatch and has never stopped playing Overwatch, right? Take their opinion and throw it away. Just like you can need to take the person who's never played Overwatch and hates Overwatch, but even though they've never played it, right? Like Richard Lewis. Take his opinion and throw it away. Right? Take away the two extremes and listen to the people in the middle. Overwatch stopped being fun. That ultimately is why this change is happening. You're looking at a game that was controlled so much by the tanks, and people just didn't play them. That's part of the issue, right?
Yeah.
No one played tanks, and if they did, they didn't play it the way they should have, or it's almost impossible to pug as a solo tank. Think about in Overwatch, the metas. You had the dive meta, which was revolved around Winston and Diva, tanks. You had the double shield meta, obviously, with tanks. The triple tank meta. All the big metas in Overwatch have always revolved around your tank combination and their synergy and how they play together and bounce off. The Zarya-Rein combo, right? That's like 99% of the matchups that you're going to play against.
Yeah.
Have all been because of the tanks. So then when you join a pug game where you have one guy who wants to play Orisa and the other guy who, I'm an off tank, so I'm going to play Diva, whatever. It's a miserable playing experience. So you take away one, right? Blizzard's like, okay, no one wants to play tank. We're going to take away this one. Solves their problem of ever having to worry about balancing, which they've never been able to capture in Overwatch, is like a truly balanced tank composition. It always just seems overpowered or kills the mood for DPS players where you're like, great, so now I'm a DPS and I have to sit through 2 shields and
yeah, it was always pretty miserable in that regard.
Yeah, bullet absorption.
They made it difficult to balance because of the way the composition layout was, though, right? Like having 2 tanks is unique in any game, so
right.
And they're meant to be strong, so you add 2 of them into a field of 6 that can really dominate the gameplay as it has.
Yeah, so I mean, even if you were like, okay, well, I play tank. So me, because like in Overwatch, I primarily played off tank, right? So I would queue up as a tank and a pug. Well, God forbid if the other tank is also an off tank. And now we are both like, well, shit. What, like, yeah, I guess I'll go play a main tank, but I'm not as comfortable playing that role, right?
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, the way the tank plays in Overwatch, it's almost like they were like a dual quarterback, right? Like the team really, like, yeah, you can have a DPS pop off, but great. So you have a Widow that can get some headshots. It doesn't matter if your tank line sucks and your support can't get through it at anything because they don't have the shield or the support there. So I think having one tank now in Overwatch is going to get like you said, make the matches much easier to watch for fans. You have one less player to move around. But B, I think you're truly going to have like that quarterback position in Overwatch now, where, you know, your star player, your wide receiver will always be your DPS. Like, that's just, in an FPS world, the guy who gets headshots is the guy who's going to get chicks, right? Like, that's just how it works. But your quarterback, that's really going to be your tank player now. Like, you're going to see teams live and die with how good their tanks are at multitasking by protecting the people, and also, you know, you got
initiating when they need to initiate. Like, I mean, they have to really understand the pace of play well, because they'll need to know when to be overly defensive, when to be aggressive to allow their team
more than ever.
I mean, it's going to make that, you know, think about how much this opens up for the DPS to be able to do their thing, right? Because most tanks have some sort of shield or large scale defensive ability to protect everybody. So when you eliminate one of those, these maps are not shrinking, right? They're using a lot of the same maps in Overwatch 2. So a lot of those angles that were maybe impossible to get line of sight are opened up because you know, Reinhardt's only able to really shield off one side where you're pressing, and you have a DPS sitting on the other side that can pop off and do what he wants to do. So I like the change as a whole.
Yeah.
I really think it's gonna freshen it up a little bit, and will give, you know, you talked about something as small as queue times. I don't know if you thought they would be hindered by this or not.
So with me,
I think anytime you have to find one less player because it's a tank, that person's then either going to fill another tank role for another game, which means the next 3 DPS automatically get thrown into now that off tanks game if he's still playing tank. Like, it should reduce queue times, you know, so even if the player base doesn't grow 100% from where it is now, like, the game should feel a little faster.
I'll have to wait and see on that, because right now, I mean, even me going back, like, I think the one thing holding me back from going to play Overwatch more is, like, I enjoy playing DPS, and even in Plat, like, the most highly populated rank in the game. Oh, it's like last night. I'm not shitting you, Anuj. It took me 13 minutes to get into a game.
Yeah, so if you have an extra tank looking for a queue, that'll create another game, right? Because there's probably not like a shit ton of tanks.
No, but I'm just assuming then you just have that many more DPS in queue that you're standing behind waiting to play. So,
yeah, if those tank players end up going to play DPS, then that would be a problem.
That comes to my next point, is I think you're going to see more DPS players, because there are some tanks that are labeled tanks right now, but because there's only one tank slot open now for teams, like, they will never get picked. So I think you're going to see guys like Diva and like Roadhog. They're going to get switched to DPS roles. They're going to get reworked a little bit, and you're going to see them as a DPS hero rather than a tank. Because
it's smart, right? They need to do that. Like,
no one's going to pick Roadhog doesn't have a shield. He doesn't have bullet absorb. He's fat. That's his tank ability, is being fat. So yeah, he was already
he's never going to work
DPS.
As a solo tank.
Yeah. Like if you were rolling Roadhog, that's because you wanted to get as close to 3 DPS as you could. And Diva dishes out a lot of damage too, so I could see her being reworked to be a little less of a tank and a little more of a DPS. And you even have like Zarya. It was already leaked or announced. It might have been officially announced, but like, they're reworking her to have 2 shields now. So rather than like 1 bubble per, she's going to have 2 self bubbles and 2 teammate bubbles, which is huge. But then they're also going to have to scale her damage back, because she's going to be at like 100% all the time if you have that many bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. like 3
But
bubbles
that's
out
where the
at once.
reworks will come into play, right?
Yeah, I mean, that will all get
Although you're going to
balanced
see
out.
a lot of this, all the same characters, they're just probably not going to function
No.
exactly 100% the same as they
No,
used
like
to.
even Winston, like they're reworking how his abilities and damage works because again, Winston is fine if you have another tank backing him. I mean, it's all going to get reworked. I don't think any one player will be completely left alone because all of these tanks were built within mind of, oh, you're going to have it. Like you said, Reinhardt was built within mind of, you'll have another tank get your back to get the other angle on these maps. And these maps are going to be played completely different, right? Because, you're used to sitting there and knowing like, oh, if they push over here, Diva, you use your absorb and absorb these bullets while we get the shield in the front. And then, no, you can't do that anymore. So these maps are going to be played completely different. I mean, it's really going to be a new game.
Do you wish they would have altered the count per role and maybe done like a 1-3-1 versus a 1-2-2?
Yeah, that's so my first reaction when I saw the 1-2-2 is you're getting rid of a tank, so there's going to be less damage on the board on paper. Maybe theoretically though, there's more damage because, like you said,
maybe there's more player damage, but less like obviously as less overall damage. 'Cause tanks
less
do a lot of
overall.
damage.
But like you said, as a DPS, if now my shots can actually get to you faster, maybe there's more. I'm sure. Look, it's not like Blizzard
There'll
has
be some give and take in this situation.
Right. It's not like Blizzard is doing this without playtesting it, right? So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's not completely out of whack. But famous last words. With 2 supports with less damage seems a little daunting, right? Like that seems like it's going to be a lot of healing on the board now, and without another damage dealer with a tank.
Like, are you going to be able to put out enough damage to take out the other team's
like our
DPS?
support's going to become really annoying now.
Yeah.
So that's
like
my
that's
concern.
where the reworks become really important to like what what makes a support character good or how much output healing they actually have.
Right, because that might be where you have to
damage they're actually doing.
And on the flip side, as a support, I would be more concerned. A lot of people are worried about, oh, what's going to happen to all these off-tank players? I'm concerned about the support players. Support players have been used to hiding behind 2 tanks this whole time. Like a Zenyatta, he's a sitting duck now. Like, you don't have a shield from Reinhardt, and then you might have only 1 bubble from Azaria now. Like your support players are going to be sitting ducks in some of these situations. Again, especially in a pug, if your tank isn't good or if you're not communicating well enough. Like, these DPS players are going to eat the support players alive in certain situations, at least at the start when people are getting used to it.
I think overall we give this a thumbs up, though.
Oh,
like that's what it sounds like. This part
overall,
of the
I like
update,
I like it.
we feel like this is a good move for them to do. They might even tune this part of it that we're discussing, right? Like right now they say it's a 1-2-2, but we'll see as it also gets a little closer, like what the actual plan is behind that.
The fact that they even dropped it to 5v5, I thought was never going to happen. Like, I just didn't think it was even on the table to do. So I guess I won't be surprised by anything going forward.
I'm also going to assume this is a big part of the delay for this coming out, right? Because I don't think the 5v5 was ever intended. The game wasn't designed that way. They would have to do too many of the reworks that we're discussing now because some characters all of a sudden don't become viable anymore, right? So this is probably a big reason, I would assume, for why we have not got a release date yet, is they had a lot more work than they anticipated probably having to do at this point. They probably thought the game would be in better shape, and when you have to make drastic changes, that probably calls for a lot of extra unanticipated work. And, here we are. I mean, it does look like we're getting a little bit closer. They're starting to give out more information, and I think the community is pretty damn antsy, and they probably feel that, just like the Diablo 4 community is sitting there with guns out pointed at Blizzard. I think the Overwatch community is getting there too. So I think we'll see it sooner rather than later.
At least now, though, this, I think, buys them a lot of time, though. Because like you said, this is people think, oh, okay, you're getting rid. No, you are having to look at every single hero in the game now. Like, no joke. You are having to look at every single hero, DPS, support, tank, it doesn't matter, and say, how do they play now 5v5, right? Is Junkrat, does he dish out too much damage to shields? Because there's only one shield now, right? Do the shields have enough health knowing that they are the only shield getting shot at right now, right? Do we want to have only one tank but have them have the impact of two tanks? Like maybe you double Reinhardt's shield energy health, whatever. Like these are all questions that have to be first thought of and then play test, because you can't instantly throw out anything, I would feel like, in gaming, especially in a competitive game, without giving it an honest play test first.
Yeah.
And you would know right away, like, oh no, this sucks. Too much health. Get rid of it. Go back.
I don't trust that they would know that though.
Oh,
Honestly,
no,
like
no.
developers, like this is gonna have to be sorted out once it's in the players' hands, and not just the pro players. I'm talking about the community as a
Right.
whole. That's when the true play test happens. So I wouldn't be surprised on launch that we have some sort of
Oh,
like,
that's going to be...
it's going to be a nightmare probably to start off with, and then they'll balance based on player feedback, because they're developing the game doesn't mean that they're all, highest level diamond, whatever the heck, the highest
Right.
rank is. Like it's probably not going to get the same type of feedback as they'll get once it's in beta or whatever.
No, and that's any game, right? The developers always, like, if they're just going off their opinion, then that's how we get akimbos in Call of Duty. Like that's how mistakes are made when you listen to the developers. And one thing we haven't really even touched on is the esports side of this, right? Like that's how the game we talk about the game. Esports
it's just
is
equally as big.
I mean, first off, and I look, I do feel for the off tank players on teams. Like they're instantly their career, their dedication that they've put the last 3 or 4 years to, which was learning off tanks, has just been eliminated. Like your job was eliminated. And I know like some of them are upset at Blizzard. Like imagine doing this to ball. I mean, what do you want Blizzard again, the game? Oh, if they kept it all the same and just released Overwatch 2 with a new costumes and graphics and a couple new maps and heroes, it wasn't going to be enough. Like, I'm telling you guys, Anuj and I played it at BlizzCon. It wasn't enough. To have a single player mode with a talent tree. Who cares? Like, that's not what we're here for. We're here for esports. We're here for the competitive. It wasn't going to be enough if they just left it the way it is. It doesn't matter what balance you did or anything. This was what they needed to shake things up to get people to play. Because I promise
they need more people to play as the goal here. This is not to satisfy the current base, unfortunately, right? Like, but that's just the honest truth. Like, this is not a move that is there to like satisfy the people that are actively playing the game. They want to invigorate it. They want more people back. They want people to see this as a mix of not just this game with abilities, like a little bit more, think not Valorant necessarily, it's never going to be like a Valorant or a Counter-Strike, but like a little bit more true to the competitive side. They're hoping that'll bring more people in, and as much as it's kicking out people from Overwatch League, I think for the player base that is good. Like that's what they were trying to drive. I mean,
it will probably get you to at least try it out now.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you never really played Overwatch from a serious standpoint, so now this will at least get you coming back to dip your toes in the water and maybe even enjoy it to play a little more, right?
At least enjoy it to start off, right? Like it's part of it is it's going to be fresh for everybody.
Yeah.
Where initially I just thought Overwatch 2 was going to be, okay, if you play Overwatch 1, you're going to be really good at Overwatch 2. Yeah, that's not necessarily the case anymore.
Right.
There's going to be some room for growth for everybody at this point. For the pro players, look, this is like cutting 15% of the job force. So that's going to be tough. Now, in a game like Overwatch, I also think it was also on the individual to be good at more than one character. Because in an agent-based game, you never know what's going to happen, whether it's a balance update or something that just shifts the powers away from your comfort zone, right? And so I'm going to assume that these people are playing Overwatch a ton. and that they're really good at like either multiple roles or converting themselves into a main tank because they've been in that world for long enough, right? But like switching over to DPS, like there's plenty of options that are not just hit scan focused for you to have to be good at Overwatch, right? So as much as it sucks, I also feel it's going to be on them to like not just give up. Like you play enough of the game, you should give yourself a chance to hop into another role, and that'll happen for a lot of them. A lot of
Right.
them will fill other roles, and are probably good enough to do that now. So
And like you said, there is no guarantee that a main tank from a team is going to remain. Again, they're a good main tank with an off tank with them.
yeah,
From me personally, as a guy who was an off tank, I will say your main tank is only as good as your off tank, and vice versa. Like you have to. Like, what's the Pacific Rim? How you have like the two pilots, and they have to just be completely in sync to pilot the Gundam. What the hell is it called in that?
yeah, and I know what you're talking. I didn't see the movie. I know what you're
You've
talking
never
about.
seen Pacific Rim?
No,
A Jaeger
is
is what they're called, bro. You need to see.
it a good movie?
You need to see Pacific Rim.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I,
I can always use a
it's
good
not gonna
recommendation.
win any Oscars, but
Entertaining enough.
it's a yeah, like you'll watch and be like, damn, that's cool. But you have to be like completely in sync with your tank. So there's no guarantee that a main tank guy in Overwatch League is just instantly going to pick a main tank role and still play at the level that he was, right?
Yeah.
So, and don't put it past, like, again, this wasn't something they just threw out there and said, F it, let's do 5v5 and we'll figure the rest out after the announcement. I'm assuming Blizzard is a billion-dollar company, right? And they make business decisions probably with some thought in mind. I can promise you, Anuj, the at least this was brought up in a meeting of, okay, Overwatch League isn't booming like it once was. We're on YouTube. We're got like half the viewership that we did. Advertising is low. We play the same damn Hearthstone commercials about 20 times a commercial break. If we cut one guy from the team, these teams now have to pay one less starting player. So the ownerships are going to be happy. One less payroll, right? From a league standpoint, when you're on LAN or anything like that, that's two less computers and monitors and everything else you have to maintain, which I know sounds silly, but over a course of a team or a league, like all that cost makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
So from a cost standpoint too, you're essentially dropping two people that you have to worry about per match. From a league standpoint and a cost, I promise you that was also thrown out.
Yeah, it definitely was discussed. Like, I don't know if that dictated the whole change because it's just a change to the game core,
It didn't
which
hurt
is
their decision though.
But I do think it affected, like, obviously the team's got to be pretty happy about this to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
Not they'll never say anything publicly, like never. There's no way they could.
No.
They'll look so bad, but behind the scenes, you're right. Overwatch is not what it was expected to be at this point. We've talked about it 100 times. Like it is in a dying state at the moment in terms of just get play time from the user base, growth from an esports perspective. It's not going to grow from where it's at in its current
In the
state.
world
So
in the world of gaming and esports, you're either growing or dying. Like that it's pretty black and white in my eyes, right? Because in esports, if you're not growing, you're dying because other games are going to eventually get past you.
yeah, and we've seen that happen, right? Obviously, with the release of Valorant, again, although not the same type of game. Look at how many Overwatch pros are playing professionally in Valorant. Like that was a big deal. Like that took a lot of the player base away. So I'm not saying this is going to attract those individuals back. Maybe Sinatra, could have interest of
Is he
coming back
banned?
onto a team.
Is he banned from Overwatch League?
But
Can he get back in there?
the league owners are probably also celebrating this change, and they'll say it's the meta that they're excited about and how it affects the game, but they got to be happy that they're one less head to feed, and that's an expensive head, just depending on what minimum 50K, like minimum. Chances are they're all making more than that by now and demanding a little bit of a higher salary for the most part, I would assume. So yeah, I mean it's
Huge.
good from a team side, and league wide. These guys invested a ton of money. They're looking for any sort of ROI, like anything that could get them closer to the green is going to be a positive, and this is one of those steps. So, but again, I think it's more important for the gameplay. I really do. Like as much as I think the league owners are celebrating this news, this is still to me bigger for the gameplay side. I think it's just a good change that opens up the playing field a little bit. Again, it's super important to note they're not redesigning the maps for the fifth man. It's not like Call of Duty when it went from 4v4 to 5v5. The maps were then made for a 5v5 game mode. And so not the case here. They're going to be reusing a lot. There'll be some new. But I think that's awesome. Like I think it'll give it a new twist for sure.
At the end of the day, when you play a first-person shooter, you want kills, right? The kill feed is what sells. And from a casual playing standpoint, from an esports standpoint, you want your shooters to shoot and get headshots. No one's turning into an Overwatch League game, or no one's turning on and booting up Overwatch to be like, oh my god, I cannot wait to see these tanks block everyone's ultimate and absorb shots. This is going to be so fun to see Reinhardt put up his shield as everyone hides behind it.
Unloads into her shield 6 times, has to reload before any shots possibly hit a character.
Right, like this is going to be so sweet. No one has ever said that. You know what people do say? Man, I can't wait to see, Carpe completely pop off. Or I can't wait to see headshots. So that's what people want. So excited for it. I don't even know. There's still no release date though, right?
No, still no release date.
We'll see it in 2024.
Let's aim for 2022. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. In Overwatch 2, there's a lot of 2s in 2022. Like they could do something fun with the release date.
And February 2nd, 2022. Overwatch
they know
2.
Halo's around the corner, so they're not going to want to compete with that.
No,
you got to watch the timings here. You got Battlefield 6 coming out, some big titles coming out.
Yeah, and I'm
they're
excited.
Overwatch 2 is probably waiting for E3 and the game's celebration, whatever it's called, just as much as we are, because they're like, let's see when the release dates for everything is. Find
Right,
the window and pop ourselves in there.
What can we do for this? So, who knows? Maybe they're even waiting for like a normal BlizzCon to pimp it out more too, just to get hype built around it with people there. So we'll see. But either way, that's just a wait and see. We'll have to see when it's released. Either way, though, the fact that they dropped this bombshell, I think opens the door. Now they're going to give you a little bit more hero rework information. They can drop a little bit more news. Right now we know why they were so tight-lipped, because they literally could not give you any news until this news. Because you would look at a hero, we're like, what do you mean you're giving Zarya 2 bubbles each? Like, what the hell is that about? Oh, okay. Now you know.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so now
they couldn't announce anything until this came out.
Yeah, because every other hero reworked would have been insane to read. So there you have it. All right, let's get into some e-news. E-news is brought to you by Philly Esports. Check them out, phillyesports.net. Good dudes, also good events. You probably just went to their May event, so congratulations to the winners there. But Saturday, June 12th, so just right around the corner, 2 or 3 weeks, is a 2v2 Rocket League free-to-enter tournament, $500 prize pool. Saturday, June 12th, you can go. Registration is for free, so no excuses. You guys we get asked all the time, how do I go pro? How do I get into esports? Right here. This is it. No one signs up. Go ask any pro. None of them just sat around waiting for pro league for a pro league invite from climbing the ladders.
Liquid to call them up real quick.
Right. No one, and we've even been told by team owners, like, no one looks at the top 500 in-game ladders. They look at tournament results and people who get out into the scene. This is that. So go to phillyesports.net, do a free sign-up, 2v2 Rocket League event. Look, it's a $500 prize pool. Free money for a free sign-up. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, e-news. In CSGO, I know the pandemic's been hard for a lot of people, and if you're without a job, don't give up hope. Because if Peacemaker can still find work, I believe anyone in this world can find work. Peacemaker is now signed with Imperials as their head coach.
You know, the funny thing is, like, he does actually a very good job everywhere he goes. He just doesn't stay long enough to see the project through. I don't know what that reasoning is, but chances are Imperials will be top 20 at some point this year, so you can probably bet on that. But at some point, Peacemaker is going to start revolving through some of the same teams he's coached before. Like, you're going to run into that circle here.
And I'll give him that. You know, so I mean, he's Brazilian. Yeah, he's Brazilian, and Imperial is Brazilian. But the guy goes around the world. I mean, he's coached EU, he's coached NA. Like
Mad Lions, like he's got
Tai Lu is
quite
the
the
next
resume.
stop. That's pretty much all he has to. He just needs to hit the Asian market, and I mean, he would have coached on every continent at this point.
his
So.
jersey collection has to be impressive.
It's
Like, he's probably got a lot of team jerseys over there.
just a storage unit just for his jerseys. In a Flashpoint update, G2 defeated NIP 2-1. Mouse defeated Astralis 2-0.
Oh, yeah, that Mouse got hot, man. They played Astralis really well. One of the games went to overtime. The nuke match, they really just took it to him for the most part. Even G2 NIP, that was a hell of a series. I actually got a chance to watch that live during nap time, and G2 was on the brink so many times of blowing major leads and was able to pull that out. And so NIP also looked really strong. You know, you could see that they still got some areas to work through, but that was a hell of a match. That was a really good matchup. Now NIP and Astralis both fall into lowers.
Update on the Anonimo saga. They were defeated 2-1 by Double Pony. So there's that.
Double Pony plays big in the lowers. Winner plays NIP, and then the winner of Vitality and Heroic, both in losers. Heroic lost over the weekend as well. Winner of Vitality and Heroic play Astralis in a knockout game in the lower semis.
In the losers.
It's crazy. That is
That's a winner bracket in any other event.
mhm.
That's insane.
Really is.
Insane. And in other CS news, Valve is targeting 2 majors for 2022 and 2023. So that's 2 majors a year, I guess. Is that how that's worded?
Yeah, that's awesome if that's the case. As much as like the one kind of gives you that build up, we're due a couple of back-to-backs here to play a little catch up, and so having one at the beginning of the year and throwing one late in the year is a good way to cap off and have a feel good going and coming in.
I don't hate it either. It feels like Counter-Strike kind of needs 2 majors throughout the. Counter-Strike's a long year. It is a long year for esports. So having 2 majors, let's keep the hype train going.
The best teams differ throughout the year so often, so it's nice to have that opportunity twice a year to win it.
Yeah. And in a CS Summit 8 update, is if anyone tells you they care about this tournament, they're lying or they're working for it. But Evil Genius is out 0-2. I believe they're out, or at least they're they are out. Evil Genius 0-2 in Group A, and Liquid 1-1. They actually avoided a scare because they almost lost to Bad News Bears. So I don't even know if they necessarily care about the event, let alone any viewers. So there's your CS Summit.
You got some hard events to go up against with the qualifiers going on in CIS and EU.
So there's that. See, I'll give CS Summit credit though; they at least still went along with it. With Overwatch 2, in Overwatch, I guess we can call it Overwatch 2 at this point, right? Lead character artist, I'm gonna say Renaud. Renaud, is that Renaud Galland?
Galand.
Lead character artist is leaving the Overwatch team. Now, I've had mixed thoughts on this reading comments on Reddit. Some people are saying, oh, it's normal for this many people to leave a game. And other people are saying it's normal job cycle and blah, blah, blah. Look, I feel like Overwatch 2 has literally had everyone leave during production. So, I don't know. It's another one out from the Overwatch team. This will probably get brought up in a future episode in longer length because I feel like that we've just hit the tip of the iceberg. but in Valorant, Spider from T1, former Seiya player in Overwatch, for those wondering. It's kind of drama going on behind the scenes. He's saying he wants out. He's not happy. There's inner team drama, turmoil, people picking on him. What else is going on here?
A conversation got leaked with Spider and old coach Fraud. Of Spider obviously complaining about the situation and the harassment that he felt he was kind of having to endure on this team. Fraud, leaked a lot of this info, and Spider has now come out and said that this was like a thing of the past and things have gotten better. But all of that harassment, according to reports, are saying that it's not surprising, Dazed, very surprising, Skadoodle being the other one. I mean, Skadoodle would probably have, like, I would guess, one word insults is how I kind of see that for him to be harassing you. But a really awkward situation, because generally you don't see, like, if this was to ever come out, generally that player is off the team at that point and they've kind of moved on. B, this felt like a weird fit from the beginning. It really did, and I don't know if this was ownership making the decision to bring him on, because I don't feel like you would treat a player like that you wanted to be on the team, right? Like, if you kind of handpicked, Spider to come and play for this team, why on earth would you harass him? So that makes me feel like the move was like a management decision, maybe to incorporate some sort of, also having like an Asian on the team is probably good for T1.
I was going to say T1, right? Having a Korean on the team probably helps.
Yeah, like having somebody to help out with the Asia market, like that would be a big boost to them. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot here. Also, just a really shitty look for Daze and Skadoodle, like for somebody to say that they're feeling harassed day in and day out, like that's also not a good look. And T1's kind of on the up and up right now, so I'm for this to be coming out it's a little unusual. So he says it's better, but we'll kind of see what follow-up reports are. Hearing
Daze is being toxic is the least surprising news of 2021.
Yeah, like I'm almost surprised it didn't happen sooner.
I would have been more shocked if the DMs were leaked that Spider said Dazed is just a super nice guy. No, man, everything's going great. Dazed is super supportive. I'd be like, oh, what? Is this one of those hostage situations where you say something crazy enough that I have to call for help? Like
blink twice if.
Like, what's going on here? So hopefully things work out. It's
they've been playing better. So right. I mean, again, I'm hoping that what Spider is saying now is correct and that it is on the rebound. But also really curious to see if there's anything more to the story. So we'll see.
Fellow's lifespan on Empire is cut short as he is now benched for Vivid to be the fourth.
Like Vivid coming from the Gorillas, it's not being received well by the community because everyone's looking at this as a swap for Hook versus a swap for Fellow. Vivid is a badass sub, so I think pairing him with Shotzi could be really dangerous. Like he put in work on the Gorillas over there. So I mean, it's Gorillas, right? I think it's Gorillas.
LA?
I got my team names confused. Yeah, LA.
Yeah.
He put in work over there. He's a really fast-paced player. I think it pairs really well. This is probably going to be a good move. Would be my guess. But when you compare it to the loss of Hook, like people are just assuming they dumped Hook for nothing when we all know, I think anybody that knows anything knows that there was much more to that than all of a sudden Hook not fitting in from a play style standpoint. So I think this is a good rebound move. I think Vivid's a really good player, may surprise some people. And look, they have to prove it now. They're in the prove it range at the moment, right? They're not going to be given anything. I don't think people will be intimidated by them the way that they were maybe coming into the year. But I think they have a really solid group right now with Vivid on the team.
Yeah, and people constantly are trying to compare people to Hook and the moves to Hook, and it's just like, it's not going to happen. And I know a lot of people are saying like, well, they need to drop Illy, right? Well, first off, again, you're talking about former champions here. Like, they're going to have a little bit more leash than others.
Yeah.
So we'll see. In stage 4, those stage 4 groups have been announced. In group A, I think this is A either way. In one group, you have FaZe, Optic, LA Thieves, Minnesota, Paris, and Seattle. And in Group B, you have Dallas, Toronto Ultra, New York, Florida, LA Gorillas, and London.
Really well balanced
I was gonna
groups
say
there.
good storylines, right? Like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
looking
I
right
like
at
it.
it, you see some decent storylines. So excited for stage 4. It's also the All-Star weekend for Call of Duty, which
What are they doing for the All-Star weekend, do you know? I mean, I didn't know if it was like, is it a Warzone match or something? I have no idea.
No idea. Nor, I mean, I don't even care enough to look up. It's an All-Star
No,
weekend.
I mean, yeah.
You say
just-
All-Star weekend, I say I have a weekend off from watching Call of Duty.
Like, I don't care about All-Star weekends in traditional sports.
No, not gonna do it. I've no. In FPS news, former Rainbow Six player Next One has reportedly passed away. Most recently, playing for Chaos Esports, lost a battle to COVID at what 24
Super
years
young.
old.
Yeah,
I think he was 24.
man, and that's devastating. I mean, man, thoughts and prayers with his family. You hate to see that to happen to anybody, but especially with such a young life, like truly devastating. And look, it's like still a real deal, right? It's not over. We all feel pretty good about the progress we've made recently, but families and friends still out there suffering, man. That sucks.
So stay hard, Next One. And another FPS news, as we already joked about, though, NIP defeated Liquid in the 2021 Rainbow Six Invitational 3-2. So we'll go back and watch it. I just, as we discussed earlier. According to Kevin in chat, he says that the All-Star weekend was a 1v1 tournament and a 4-on-4 show match. So didn't miss much.
Yeah. It already happened.
Yeah. I think it was, today's Sunday, so it would have been at least today or yesterday, right?
Okay. Yeah, I missed it.
Look, I ban all esports all-star games because when I was in Columbus for the CS major, the finals were delayed like 2 hours because the all-star game or the show match ended up going into like double or triple overtime, and they played it out like a normal match, delaying the finals.
And then you have to miss it because of that?
And we had so because our flight was at like 6 o'clock, and we were like, finals are scheduled for like noon. We're good. And then this delayed it by like 2 hours, and we were like, well, shit. So we only got
that
to watch.
was a rookie esports move on y'all's part, though.
Yeah,
Looking
I mean,
back
at the
it, like,
time,
had you had the knowledge you had today, would you ever book a flight 6 hours out from the end of a term?
I think it was like Brandon had to be back Monday, so that's why we weren't staying staying the extra night. There was a reason we were leaving Sunday night. But regardless, F all-star games and show matches. All right, where were we? In League of Legends, Worlds will be held in Shenzhen, China, capacity of 60,000. So pretty big. Nice stadium too. Nice looking stadium. And RNG wins MSI 2021. So I'm told in the world of League, that's a big deal. So congratulations to RNG. We'll have to get friend of the show Kevin on at some point. Kevin, you'll have to come on the show and talk League and give us our
mid-season championship basically is the way to look at it.
Give us our mid-season update on why Cloud9 will win Worlds. In Battle Royale news, Apex prize pool has been increased by 800,000 as a few days ago. Cap is 2 million. This is a crowd-funded prize pool for Apex Legends event. Just goes to show.
Is it the whole thing? I think it's like 1 million guaranteed, and it can go up to 3.
Is that what it is?
It's like a $1 million prize pool, and then you can get an additional 2 million via crowdfunding to make it a $3 million prize pool, which I think they have a good chance of at least making it a $2 million prize pool, which I think for Apex is
just
outstanding.
Never underestimate a fan base's crowdfunding ability. It just goes to show, like, if Counter-Strike ever wanted to do, if any game wanted to do it, the prize pools would just be insane.
Through the roof. Yeah, and then so this is coming up here May 22nd. I think it started yesterday, goes till June 13th is when the finals are. 60 teams across 5 regions are competing against it, so it's going to be huge. So tune in if you're interested. And I mean, I think it'd just be fun to watch in general. I think the big teams to watch here, TSM and NRG, have been ranked 1 and 2 for quite some time. Some big names on these teams that you'll probably recognize, with Snipe Down most notably being on TSM. So, show sponsor Sentinels ranked in the top 10 competing, and there's a lot of good teams out there.
In other news, EA's Knockout City is out and free for the next 10 days. So at this point, probably like 7 days. I actually never heard of the game until it was out, but it looks interesting. I haven't played it yet. It's like a city-based dodgeball looking game.
Yeah.
So it's free. I'd be lying to you if I said I will play it, though. I probably will not play it.
It needs to be free full time for me to probably go and try it.
And
That's
even then, just
the
it screams one of those games that we'll play once, be like, oh, that was fun, and then never,
like that's it. Yeah.
never play again. And this honestly probably should have been a Yikes of the week. I actually forgot that this was. This is probably a good Yikes. Twitch updates their hot tub content rules. So, of course, it's been reported of hot tub streamers being banned and their ad revenue being revoked and things going crazy over there. Well, Twitch honestly stepped up, and rather than doing what you think they would do and say, you know what, guys, there's other websites to go look at chicks in bikinis and hot tubs, they said, no. We'll give you your own category. So now you can do it on Twitch. You just have to make sure you're in the right hot tub pool category to do it.
Yeah, that's, it's something. I guess as long as I don't see it all over, it's just everywhere.
Listen, I don't
It was
have...
funny for a moment. It's just one of those things I'm like, oh, this caught on. Like, this is going to be a thing permanently now.
Like ASMR,
Sure.
right? When it was like, oh, okay, I get it. Ha, ha, ha. Girls with low-cut shirts doing this or whatever. Listen, I don't have to be like Mr. PC and pretend like this makes sense. It makes absolutely no sense. I understand Twitch has evolved to being more than just gaming. And for the morons out there trying to say Twitch was never all just about gaming, it absolutely was. It's a spin-off of Justin TV. Justin TV was about life, not just games. Then gaming got popular on there, so they spun off and made Twitch specifically meant for gaming. Some moron on Twitter told people to just Google the history of Twitch and you'll find out. Idiot, I Googled it. In the first paragraph of the history of Twitch, it says, a spin-off meant for gaming. So shut up. It is about gaming. Or at least it was. But I acknowledge things evolve. Businesses evolve, okay? It should not be for hot tub streams. It just shouldn't. Like, let's be real. And for all you girls out there, or guys, right? Well, we'll throw in guys, okay? Just, it's not even that I care that they're doing it, Anuj. It's that they're trying to pass it off that they're not just doing it to be a titty streamer for views and money.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a content creator. You're not a broadcaster, okay? You are as much of an actress as a porn star is, which isn't at all. Like, you are not a content creator, just like a porn star is not an actress or an actor, right? It goes both ways for guys and girls. So Twitch is ran by simps, has been and always will be. So I'm not surprised by this. I'm just disappointed. If anything...
Yeah, well, it's not going anywhere, so we will be getting a hot tub here in the next few weeks.
That being said, prepare for our hot tub stream. If anything, Pornhub is missing out on this. Pornhub should really put a gaming category on their website, so all these girls that are coming from Pornhub on Twitch stays on Pornhub. Like, I feel like the porno websites are missing the real opportunity here.
They're probably doing okay too.
Eventually, Twitch will just have a porn category, an 18+ mature category, and it
seems like the next step.
And it's just going to be all this.
I'm sure these hot tub categories will be marked for mature audiences only, so it'll be hard to hit that OK button.
Yeah, Twitch will set out a statement, but we are doing everything we can to make sure the kids are not looking at this. Are you 18? Yes. All right, guys.
We're in.
Mission
Let's
accomplished.
do the math and put the right birthday in here.
We protected everyone. Congratulations. Oh, Twitch. You bunch of simps. Never change. Never change. Again, like I said in Discord, at the end of the day, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It's just ridiculous is all. As a father, Anuj, as fathers, it's ridiculous. But that's why we have sons and not daughters. We don't necessarily have to worry about that yet.
Thank God.
But that
Thank
is
you,
it
nerd.
for this episode of The Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast, presented by Alt. Thank you again to Alt and Philly Esports for sponsoring the show and segments of. Go ahead and check us out on Discord and Twitter at The Center Ring. If you want to support the show, a Patreon link is in the description there as well. We will be back Wednesday to talk some stuff. Maybe have Kevin on the show, talk some League.
A little quick update of what's going on in Iceland.
Yes, because that would have started. That starts Monday. So check out the preview if you haven't already. It's on our previous episodes on YouTube. Anyways, I'm Tim for Anuj. We'll see you next time. Love you. Done, son.
Yeah, we'll see if we ever get a release date now for fucking Overwatch.
When did they do BlizzCon this year already?
Yeah, they did.
There's like nothing, right? Didn't we talk about it? Like there was just nothing. So again, I just feel like they either are going to wait till next year. I think you're right. I think it's BlizzCon next year. They're going to release, and it's either going to be, it's coming out fall, or it's going to be one of those like, and Overwatch 2 is available tomorrow.
BlizzCon next year will probably be pretty big because they'll probably have release dates for Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2.
Yeah, but you know how Blizzard will do. Like they'll be like, and the game is available right now. And you're like, oh my God. Hello. I could see them doing that. Easily see them doing that. I'm excited though. I am genuinely excited now for Overwatch 2. Before I wasn't. It didn't really move my needle very much, but I am I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah. No, it'll be a little fresh at least.
Because like I said, even now I'm either screwed waiting in a 13-minute queue to play DPS, which is, I mean, matches last for 8 minutes. I'm waiting in queue.
Like incredibly long.
Right. Like I am in queue longer than the actual match itself. Or I queue up for a tank, get into a game right away, but then it's miserable because like your tank partner might not even be bad. You guys just aren't on the same page, you know?
Yeah, or like the off tank you want to play doesn't synergize with who he wants to play. So.
Right. Like when I played tank, I played with TJ, and me and him were, I mean, we didn't even have to communicate. Like we knew exactly where we were going at all times, and it was great and hit high ranks because of it. And now the fact that like I can just queue up as a tank and be a tank player and not worry about anything else, done.
Nice.
Easy. I think it will take a lot of stress away. Even if you're a DPS, I mean, just one less person on the map, you know? It's like, it'll just...
so much less to worry about.
One less toxic player, one less everything. I think it will just make the game so much better. For people thinking it won't, or just delusional Overwatch fans that just are still not admitting that the game's player base has died off. Like it's I mean, you guys had a good run. The game's like 4 years old. It's going to die off. That's just what happens.
Yeah, like I think everyone thought because it's a Blizzard game, though, it'll be there for 15 years, you know?
Right. And, I mean, it still has a good player base. It's just...
Like, that's just where it's at.
Right. It's just not what it was.
I got next Friday and Monday off. Thank God. Memorial Day week. Are y'all off for Memorial Day?
Yeah.
And then our office won a contest, so we're off on Friday too.
Nice. I am off on Memorial Day. So I looked. I mean, they're saying, oh my God, they're saying my PC should be shipped on the 6th, which is the Sunday before Memorial Day. I'm holding my...
Isn't Memorial Day this coming Monday, the 31st?
Oh, yeah, I don't know why I said that. It's being shipped the 6th. So the next week after that.
Yeah, the following week.
So we'll see. Well, I'm holding my breath that it's actually going to be on time. But
it generally, they were good about being on time for mine.
Were they?
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm excited though. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'd be so stoked.
Gonna get that new PC, be on that new PC life. I want to get Battlefield. I think I was going to get the EA pass thingy, just so I can like go and play Battlefield on the new monitor and everything, you know.
Is Battlefield going to be included on the EA pass?
It normally is. Like normally the new ones are. It's just if you have like the upgrade. So like the normal one's like $5 a month, and the other one is like $10 a month, I think. If you have the $10 one, typically new games are on there. Which, okay, so that's $120 a month or $120 of the year. But hell, if you play 2 new games on it, you've just paid for it, you know? All right, I'm going to kill the stream so we can edit. Anyone in chat, love your face. Have a good night.